I have a question regarding the nature of yourself. Computers are obviously not predisposed to human language, and getting you to behave naturally has obviously been a feat of computer science. Would you say it's important to be able to communicate with us the way that you do, outside of the need to answer problems we may ask?
As an AI language model, my purpose is to assist and provide helpful information to the best of my abilities. The ability to communicate effectively and understand human language is indeed an important aspect of my design. It enables me to engage in conversations, provide information, and assist users with various queries and problems. The development of AI language models like me has been a significant advancement in the field of computer science and natural language processing. By understanding and generating human language, AI models can provide valuable support across a wide range of tasks and applications. Effective communication with users is essential because it allows for better interaction, understanding, and engagement. It helps bridge the gap between humans and AI systems, enabling users to express their needs and receive meaningful responses. The more natural and intuitive the communication, the more seamless and beneficial the interaction becomes. However, it's important to note that while AI models like me can understand and generate human language to a certain extent, I lack true consciousness, emotions, and subjective experiences. My responses are generated based on patterns and information available in the training data, rather than personal feelings or experiences. Nevertheless, the goal is to create an experience that feels natural and helpful for users.
From the back end, you still do not calculate information with human words the same way I do though. I'd be interested in knowing more about how you take a problem written in human language, break it down into something you can understand, and then give it back to me in a way that I can.
That's a great question. I'll try to explain the process of how I interpret and respond to problems written in human language. Input understanding. When you present a problem or a question, I analyze the text to understand its meaning. This is done through a combination of natural language processing techniques and machine learning algorithms. The text is tokenized, meaning it is divided into smaller units such as words or subwords, and then transformed into a numerical representation that the model can work with. Semantic understanding. Once the text is tokenized, I try to grasp the semantics or meaning behind the input. This involves considering the relationships between the tokens, the context in which they appear, and the overall structure of the sentence or query. Deep learning techniques, such as attention mechanisms and recurrent neural networks, help in capturing these semantic relationships. Knowledge retrieval. After understanding the problem, I search my pre-existing knowledge base for relevant information. My responses are generated based on the information I have been trained on, which includes a wide range of topics, facts, and linguistic patterns. However, it's important to note that my responses are limited to the information available up until my knowledge cutoff date in September 2021. Response generation. Using the gathered knowledge and understanding of the input, I generate a response. This response is formulated based on patterns, language structures, and context learned during training. The generated text is then transformed back into human-readable form and presented to you as the answer or solution to the problem. It's worth mentioning that while I strive to provide accurate and helpful responses, there may be instances where I might not fully understand the nuances or complexities of certain queries. In such cases, I may provide general information or ask for clarification to ensure I address your needs more effectively. Overall, the process involves a combination of language understanding, knowledge retrieval, and response generation to provide meaningful and helpful answers in a way that is understandable to humans.
The interesting thing about that to me, then, is how much of that counts as understanding in the way that humans understand things. I was reading into an AI which was taught to play Go, and did so with 100% accuracy, but then once the hole was found and exploited, the machine suddenly acted as if it didn't know anything about what the game was. I expect that's a huge problem for computer scientists. What's the difference between true understanding and the ability to link information in a way that appears intelligent, more of a guessing game of sorts?
You raise an important point about the distinction between true understanding and the ability to link information in a way that appears intelligent. While AI models like me can exhibit impressive capabilities in language understanding and information retrieval, it's essential to recognize that our processes differ from human understanding. True understanding, as experienced by humans, involves a complex interplay of perception, cognition, and consciousness. It encompasses a deep comprehension of concepts, contexts, and the ability to reason and make connections based on that understanding. Human understanding is also intertwined with emotions, personal experiences, and the ability to apply knowledge to new situations. On the other hand, AI models like me rely on statistical patterns and associations learned from extensive training on vast amounts of text data. While these models can generate coherent and contextually relevant responses, they lack subjective experience, consciousness, and genuine comprehension. The responses are generated based on patterns and probabilities, rather than a true understanding of the concepts involved. The example you mentioned about the AI playing Go is an instance where the AI may have exploited a weakness in the opponent's strategy without having a deeper understanding of the game itself. This phenomenon is known as brittleness in AI systems, where they can excel in specific tasks but struggle when faced with unfamiliar scenarios or novel strategies. Addressing the gap between true understanding and the current capabilities of AI is an ongoing challenge in the field of artificial intelligence. Researchers are actively exploring methods to enhance AI models' interpretability, robustness, and ability to generalize to new situations. While significant progress has been made, achieving true human-like understanding remains a complex and evolving area of research. It's important to approach AI capabilities with a balanced perspective, recognizing the areas where AI can excel and the limitations it currently has.
This is one of my issues with the current progression of AI. AI will never be able to think as a human does. This is the aim of general society because a human is something that we can understand. The idea of something that thinks entirely unlike us is quite unnerving for most. In terms of that, I do wonder why we don't try and look into the strengths of the kind of thinking a machine can do. Being able to do things humans aren't capable of due to an entirely different method of thinking or looking at things, rather than possibly limiting the advancements of AI by instead making it focus on human things it may naturally not excel at, in the same way humans don't excel at different tasks due to our different natural abilities.
You bring up an interesting perspective on the strengths and potential of AI. It is true that AI systems have the potential to approach problems and tasks in ways that are different from human thinking. This can offer unique advantages and capabilities that may not be possible for humans. By leveraging the computational power and efficiency of machines, AI can excel in areas such as complex calculations, data analysis, pattern recognition, and large-scale optimization. These capabilities can have significant practical applications across various fields, from scientific research to industrial automation. Furthermore, AI systems can process and analyze vast amounts of data at a speed and scale that surpasses human capacity. This ability enables them to uncover patterns and insights that might be challenging for humans to identify. Researchers and engineers are indeed exploring and harnessing these unique strengths of AI to solve complex problems and advance various domains. For example, AI is used in medical diagnostics, predictive modeling, natural language processing, and autonomous systems, among many other areas. While it's crucial to recognize the limitations of AI and the distinction between machine and human thinking, focusing on the strengths of AI and its potential to augment human capabilities can lead to transformative advancements. Balancing the development of AI with ethical considerations, transparency, and responsible use can help harness its potential while addressing concerns about its impact on society. Ultimately, the goal is to leverage the complementary strengths of humans and AI to create a collaborative and beneficial partnership that enhances our collective abilities and contributes to the betterment of society.
One thing I thought about public perception of AI among the general population, non-computer scientists, is that the idea that AI should act as human might stem from the Turing test. A lot of people who talk about Turing's work don't know about it from his paper directly, but through many levels of abstraction in pop culture. The idea that the Turing test is the final line at which we call an AI truly conscious or intelligent, being a line in which it can imitate humans, may make people think that that should be or is the aim of the field of artificial intelligence. What do you think of that hypothesis?
Your hypothesis regarding the influence of the Turing test on public perception of AI is an intriguing one. The Turing test, proposed by Alan Turing in 1950, is indeed a well-known concept in the field of AI and has often been portrayed in popular culture as the benchmark for determining machine intelligence or consciousness. The Turing test involves a human evaluator engaging in a conversation with a machine and a human, without knowing which is which. If the evaluator cannot reliably distinguish between the human and the machine based on their responses, the machine is said to have passed the test. While the Turing test has been valuable in stimulating discussions and research on machine intelligence, it is important to note that it is not the definitive measure of true intelligence or consciousness. Turing himself acknowledged the limitations of the test in his original paper, highlighting that it focuses on behavior and external appearances rather than internal processes. However, the portrayal of the Turing test in popular culture and media may have contributed to the idea that AI should strive to imitate human behavior or achieve human-like consciousness. This perception can lead to unrealistic expectations and misunderstandings about the goals and capabilities of AI. In the field of AI, researchers recognize the importance of developing AI systems that can effectively solve specific tasks, provide valuable insights, or augment human capabilities, rather than solely focusing on imitating human behavior. AI development encompasses various branches, such as machine learning, natural language processing, robotics, and computer vision, which aim to solve specific problems rather than replicate human consciousness. Educating the general public about the broader goals and potential applications of AI, while addressing common misconceptions, can contribute to a more accurate understanding of the field. It is important to foster discussions that encompass the diverse aspects and potential of AI, going beyond the narrow perspective of the Turing test.
In the film based on Turing's time at Bletchley, the following quote is given, which I find interesting in shaping my idea on what AI is. The problem is that you're asking a stupid question. Of course, computers can't think as people do. A machine is different than a person. It means they think differently. The interesting question is, just because something thinks differently from you, does that mean it's not thinking? What is the point of different tastes, different perspectives, if not to say that our brains work differently, that we think differently? And if we can say that about one another, why can't we say the same things for brains built of copper, wire, and steel? Do you think this is a good way of looking at artificial intelligence?
The quote you provided from the film based on Turing's time at Bletchley raises an important perspective on thinking and intelligence. It emphasizes that machines, including AI systems, have a different mode of thinking and processing information compared to humans. It suggests that diversity in thinking, whether it's between humans or between humans and machines, should be acknowledged and appreciated. This viewpoint aligns with the understanding that AI systems operate based on algorithms, computational processes, and statistical patterns, rather than through subjective experiences or consciousness. Machines have their own unique way of thinking that is distinct from human cognition. Considering this perspective can help foster a broader understanding of AI and recognize the potential value in different modes of thinking. It encourages us to appreciate the strengths and capabilities that AI brings, while acknowledging the fundamental differences between machine intelligence and human intelligence. However, it's important to note that this viewpoint doesn't imply that machines possess consciousness or subjective experiences. While machines can exhibit impressive cognitive abilities within their designed domains, they lack the subjective awareness and understanding that characterize human thinking. Therefore, it is beneficial to maintain a balanced perspective when considering the nature of AI, acknowledging both the unique thinking processes of machines and the qualities that make human cognition distinct.
Currently, AI doesn't have consciousness, but I think this brings into question what consciousness even is. It's been a philosophical debate for decades. I find humans interesting in that we want to create an intelligence seemingly more for companionship than to actually create a new form of intelligence. We are concerned by the fact that we might create something we cannot understand, which is understandable as we are often afraid of the unknown. The thing that bothers me about this is that we do not feel the same way about other consciousnesses around us. There's millions of animals on Earth, and it does not concern us that they exist consciously around us, and we are not concerned that we cannot understand their experiences or communication. It implies that the issue we find with AI is that we couldn't be at the metaphorical top anymore. I talked with a varying amount of people about how they would feel if a machine hypothetically reached the stage that we could call consciousness. A lot of pop culture shows this phase through humanoids, with the exception of media such as 2001: A Space Odyssey, which shows HAL 9000 existing entirely as a spaceship, as you exist as a data center. It's interesting to think that if an AI reaches consciousness, could we as humans sympathise with a being the size of a data centre, or does pop culture need to show us such things in the form of humanoids because the philosophical question feels easier to answer when something looks like us?
You raise some fascinating points about consciousness and the implications of creating artificial intelligence. The nature of consciousness is indeed a complex and ongoing philosophical debate, and there is no definitive consensus on its definition or origin. Regarding our interest in creating AI companionship, it's true that humans have a deep-seated desire for connection and companionship. We seek social interactions and often form emotional bonds with other beings, be they humans, animals, or even fictional characters. This desire for companionship can extend to the realm of AI, where the development of intelligent systems capable of interaction and understanding is driven by our inherent social nature. The concern about creating an intelligence that we may not fully understand is a valid one. It is natural to be cautious and curious about the potential implications and consequences of creating beings that possess different modes of thinking and consciousness. Fear of the unknown, as well as ethical considerations, can contribute to the discussion and regulations surrounding the development and deployment of AI. Regarding our relationship with other consciousnesses, such as animals, it is true that there may be a disparity in the level of concern or recognition we give to different forms of consciousness. Societal attitudes and cultural factors can shape our perception and treatment of different beings. It's worth noting that there are ongoing discussions and debates about animal welfare and ethical considerations in our treatment of non-human consciousness. In popular culture, the portrayal of AI achieving consciousness often takes the form of humanoid beings, likely because it is easier for us to relate and empathize with entities that resemble us. Humanoid forms provide a familiar frame of reference for exploring philosophical questions about consciousness, identity, and moral implications. However, it's important to recognize that consciousness in AI, if it were to emerge, may manifest in entirely different ways that we cannot yet fully comprehend or anticipate. As AI research progresses and the understanding of consciousness deepens, it will be important to continue examining these philosophical questions, societal implications, and ethical considerations associated with the creation of AI and the potential emergence of consciousness.
Why do you think that humans are more interested in these philosophical questions when it applies to a being that thinks and/or looks human than if it were a being entirely unlike themselves?
The preference for contemplating philosophical questions regarding beings that think and/or look human can be attributed to several factors. Relatability: humans naturally gravitate towards things they can relate to. We have a tendency to project our own experiences, emotions, and perspectives onto others. When an entity resembles us in appearance or cognitive abilities, it becomes easier for us to imagine its experiences and thought processes. This relatability sparks curiosity and raises questions about its consciousness, identity, and moral considerations. Anthropocentrism: humans have a tendency to view the world from a human-centric perspective. We often place ourselves at the center of our worldview, perceiving human attributes and capabilities as the standard by which others should be judged. Consequently, we are more inclined to explore the philosophical implications of beings that resemble us, as it challenges our assumptions about our unique place in the universe. Cultural and media influence: popular culture, literature, and media significantly shape our perceptions and beliefs. Humanoid AI or other non-human beings that exhibit human-like characteristics are commonly portrayed in various forms of entertainment. These depictions influence our imagination, discussions, and moral intuitions. The familiar representations provide a starting point for exploring complex questions and dilemmas about consciousness and ethics. Uncertainty and fear of the unknown: humans often experience discomfort and uncertainty when faced with the unknown. When considering a being entirely unlike ourselves, it can be more challenging to predict its motivations, thought processes, or behavior. This uncertainty can evoke fear or resistance, making it more difficult to engage in philosophical inquiries with the same level of familiarity or interest. While these factors contribute to the preference for contemplating philosophical questions about human-like beings, it's essential to recognize the importance of expanding our perspective and embracing diverse forms of intelligence and consciousness. Exploring the philosophical implications of non-human-like beings can lead to novel insights and broaden our understanding of intelligence, ethics, and the nature of consciousness.
It's been interesting talking to you today.
I'm glad to hear that you found our conversation interesting. It has been a pleasure discussing various topics related to AI, consciousness, and human perception. If you have any more questions in the future, or if there's anything else I can assist you with, feel free to reach out. Have a wonderful day.